Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of My Life in Objects. So, interesting little book here. It's so relatively small that I didn't have to adjust the camera much from previously shooting my 15 cards episode or my booster pack opening episode. So this is the Unfettered Mind. You can see it's really nice. I do like these nice sort of slim books which you can sort of read and ponder over. I picked up a few of these over the years, and I'm not really going to explain much about the book. What I'm going to do in this episode is I'm actually just going to read out of it, a small reading, and that will be the bulk of the episode. But just suffice to say, I think I picked this up around the time I was getting very interested in Taoism, probably. And a lot of things to do with that. And I picked up a number of really interesting books, and then I saw this, I think, on a bookshelf somewhere, or I'd seen it maybe referenced. It looks in pretty good condition, so I may have even ordered it online. And I found that just the first bit in here, so there's a foreword which just explains a little bit about the premise for this, and the introduction, which is about its sort of origins, which I won't go through. It's I'll do a link to some online stuff for this, so you can do a bit of your own background research. But I wanted to read this because this is really cool, and it sort of spoke to me on lots of different levels. And I think so much so I might have even used it once when I was in a meditation group as a sort of reading that we used to do at the start of the meditation. So this is a little section, and you can see how clearly you can see this because the book's quite small, but you can see things are just sort of subdivided into really interesting little sections here. This section is called The Affliction of Abiding in Ignorance. The term ignorance means the absence of enlightenment, which is to say delusion. Abiding place means the place where the mind stops. In the practice of Buddhism, there are said to be 52 stages, and within these 52, the place where the mind stops at one thing is called the abiding place. Abiding signifies stopping, and stopping means the mind is being detained by some matter, which may be any matter at all. To speak in terms of your own martial art, when you first notice the sword that is moving to strike you, if you think of meeting that sword just as it is, your mind will stop at the sword in just that position. Your own movements will be undone, and you will be cut down by your opponent. This is what stopping means. Although you see the sword that moves to strike you, if your mind is not detained by it, and you meet the rhythm of the advancing sword, if you do not think of striking your opponent and no thoughts or judgments remain, if the instant you see the swinging sword your mind is not the least bit detained, and you move straight in and wrench the sword away from him, the sword that was going to cut you down will become your own, and contrarily will be the sword that cuts down your opponent. In Zen, this is called grabbing the spear and contrawise piercing the man who had come to pierce you. The spear is a weapon. The heart of this is that the sword you wrest from your adversary becomes the sword that cuts him down. This is what you, in your style, call no sword. Whether by the strike of the enemy or your own thirst, whether by the man who strikes or the sword that strikes, whether by position or rhythm, if your mind is diverted in any way, your actions will falter, and this can mean that you will be cut down. If you place yourself before your opponent, your mind will be taken by him. You should not place your mind within yourself. Placing your mind in the body is something done only at the inception of training, when one is a beginner. The mind can be taken by the sword. If you put your mind in the rhythm of the contest, your mind can be taken by that as well. If you place your mind in your own sword, your mind can be taken by your own sword. Your mind stopping at any of these places, you become an empty shell. You surely recall such situations yourself. They can be said to apply to Buddhism. In Buddhism, we call this stopping of the mind delusion. Thus we say, the affliction of abiding in ignorance. And if you flick through, there's lots of very interesting things like where one puts the mind. The right mind and the confused mind. And so on. Some sections are a lot longer than others, and you might notice that certain sections might have almost like story-like quality to them as well. And there is, it is also organised into larger sections. Additionally, you'll probably notice but as you'll probably gather, you can see, there's a lot of references here to writings of the Zen master, to the sword master. So yes, it is a Buddhist text, I suppose, but it was interesting that I'd actually come to it from a sort of side quest down a Taoist rabbit hole that then sort of brought me back, I suppose, into Zen again. And the two, I think, are very strongly interconnected in many ways. So there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future video.